start with a little bit of sweet candy over here because before uh, war, Candace got warmogged, and so war took over Candace's takeover of Twitter. She was everywhere the other day. When I was on Timcast, Tim was venting that all of Twitter was nothing but Candace. And so we're going to play a little bit of this clip here. And this is her new Erica Kirk series, which, as we all are told, they had these meetings, these brunch meetings of two, narcissistic ladies about media and what to not do. And supposedly there was going to be some ceasefire. And of course, Candace has gone absolutely to bonkers town with a docu-series about Bride of Frankenstein. So let's play this little clip here. And Tristan and I are going to give you guys, hopefully, a little bit of wisdom, if we have garnered any wisdom, being in the sphere of looking at alternative media and conspiracy stuff for 20, 25 years-ish between us. Both of us being that long, not 10 and 10, but both of us, back to the early 2000s of alternative media.
We do it in days or hours, actually. Like, we calculate the hours that we've lived since we started getting into this type of stuff to kind of inflate it a little bit in the audience's mind, because that'll give us more credibility.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be probably in the hundreds of thousands of hours.
Okay. 1 billion hours combined study and research of alternative media over the last 100 years between Tristan and myself. And we think we have some wisdom and insight into the grifting. We don't talk a lot about grifting over here. That is an overused term. However, there are spooks, kooks, and crooks. That is the domain, unfortunately, of alternative media and the domain of mainstream media. It is full of spooks, kooks, and crooks. Crooks, making it rhyme. So let's hear this first Candace clip, and then Tristan and I are going to deconstruct some Queen Candace's QAnons.
Then Nicole Rothstein, I want you to understand who this would be to her. Nicole Rothstein, it's going to sound ridiculous, but this is the reality. If Erica's telling the truth, Nicole Rothstein would be Erica's father's sister's husband's previous wife's daughter's daughter. In other words, zero blood relation, not even kind of related, kind of crazy. You would even call each other cousins. People do that. It's cool. It's my cousin. It's my cousin. Okay, cool. If Erica is telling the truth about her paternity, then Nicole Rothstein, I want you to understand who this.
So now these are the bombshells that are going to change everything. Some girl who Erica calls a cousin is actually Erica's father's sister. No, I am not joking. So apparently there are lies about Erica's background, according to Candace. And then what popped up was even wilder. Erica did not move to Arizona after divorce. She attended some elite schools called Tesseract. Of course, that's from, it's a mathematical, 5-dimensional object, but it's also an object that, it's from the Wrinkle in Time. As this notes, and of course, Candace makes a big deal out of things like the GATE program and the Wrinkle in Time and all this nonsense. I was in the GATE program, so I can speak to it. It was not X-Men children. It wasn't anything like that. It was just gifted kids. And we actually did read the Wrinkle in Time trilogy. So that part is correct. However, now it seems like she's moving past the twin flames idea, and perhaps, and I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, perhaps because in the 1980s, girls would get bowl cuts, which they did. I remember in 2nd or 3rd grade, kindergarten, even girls would get bowl cuts. But apparently that means perhaps she's a man. Let's see.
Right now, where a young woman with absolutely zero professional qualifications has been inserted at the top of a charity organization that pulled in over $250 million last year. And the media is telling you that you have no right to know or to ask anything about her. The argument being made is that her husband was murdered. Therefore, she has a right to assume the position. And despite the fact that Turning Point USA is a literal charity, and therefore it's not even have to pay tax on that $250 million plus or pay tax on the alleged future billions that it's due to rake in thanks to a deal with a man named Pierre. These talking heads are claiming that the public simply wanting to ensure the person who is running that organization is, I don't know, at a bare minimum, moderately honest about who she says she is, no, that inquiry makes you a monster. So I guess your job is to head to work 9 to 5, receive a flurry of unsolicited emails and text messages reminding you that Charlie Kirk, the innocent man that you watched be executed in broad daylight live, you're to be reminded that that was her Charlie. My Charlie needs your help.
Now, remember, if we're getting into the position of now Erica might be a dude, wouldn't this tarnish the legacy of Charlie? Because now Charlie was into TRA and Z. I mean, this is just getting so preposterous. And whoever this guy is, this obvious clickbait tard profile here, Project Constitution, we will ride you. We will ride the narrative till the grave with you, Candace. We're willing to die for you. We're ride or die with Candace. So I'm confused because I don't know how they're coming to this conclusion on the basis of a bowl cut. I mean, this is just, I'm sure there's other arguments that they're going to try to bring forward. But now, first thing to say, I have been critiquing evangelical fake CIA movements and churches since 10 years ago, at least. I've got many podcasts and videos doing that. I have no problem saying that TPUSA is some kind of front type of organization, which I think is totally shady. That's my opinion. That's my analysis. And I know I don't trust or care anything about what Erica Kirk is promoting or any of that nonsense. That does not make Candace correct. Okay, so let's avoid the basic bitch dialectic here. Tristan, first thoughts on this. What's your analysis of the new X-Files episode that perhaps Erica is also a man?
Yeah, I'm almost interested in seeing. I understand why a lot of people get caught up in it because it's kind of like a low level, it's kind of a low level detective story type thing. And you have, Candace is the star in this noir film, and she's discovering all the incongruities concerning Charlie and stuff like that. But I mean, it's one of the things that she does a lot, and you see this with people all the time. And I think she's pretty smart about it, actually, because can you hear me?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I thought my mic was acting up. What she does is she'll make accusations without actually accusing anybody. So it's this, you kind of go, well, there's all these fake, all these kind of like fake male to female to male people out there, right? I mean, clearly you got Michelle Obama, you got Big Mike, you got
Brigitte Macron, that was her whole thing last year.
Yeah, Brigitte Macron, and you have all these people, and they're clearly not what they seem to be, right? People love that. People love that as a storyline. That's a storyline of most every detective novel, every pulp detective novel is things are not as they seem, right? Or almost every novel, things are not quite as they seem. And but she'll go along and she'll kind of weave this narrative, and what she is accusing people. She is accusing.
Yeah, she's saying they're implicated. She's already said they're implicated implicated in the death.
Yeah, she straight up says they're implicated, that they're complicit in this cover-up. But then when she's really pressed on it, someone will say, well, look, what evidence do you have that Erica Kirk is complicit in the death of her husband? She'll say, I never said that. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I would never say something like that. You need to
Which is a lie. She's lying.
She's very deceptive in that way.
Yeah, and the next thing we want to look at here is Tristan noticed that, and I know I'm not a Hassan fan, but Hassan Piker, as you guys know, is a leftist streamer who decided that he would try to test Candace's so-called audience by sending his audience to hers, right? So let's watch this.
In here watching, look at this. Look at my chat. Look at my chat versus Candace Owens's. Nah, slow mode or not, doesn't matter.
Is that this was done
Dude, come on,
after
my
the fact?
fucking chatters
Maybe
are
someone had a
typing
friend
fought
down
in
at the
her
county
chat.
clerk who was responsible for scanning those docs into the system. 2 documents.
Look,
I should also
Her
add
entire
that
chat
I
is
could not find a
my
single
fucking
trace of their
chatters.
alleged marriage in Marble.
Her
Wood,
entire chat
Massachusetts.
is my
That
chatters.
doesn't exist.
Do
I
you
couldn't
think
find it
a
in proximity.
36,000 person
Marblehead, I would like to say,
live
is certainly an
viewership
interesting
channel
town to pick because it's the
would be
recognized
capable of
birthplace of the
rating
Marine Corps,
another content creator's
hearing the
live
same
chat
thing
when they have 213,000 viewers?
Now,
It's
I should note,
completely
be
fake.
responsible here that there are divorce-related documents.
It's
that are
just
available
my chat in there.
Ohio
Look at this.
online that
Everyone's
simply
typing
are not
fa.
allowed to have access to. People have privacy. That makes sense.
So again, absolutely no like at all for Hassan Piker. But does this suggest that Candace's audience is inflated and botted? Tech bros, tech dorks out there, can you comment on this? I'm aware that Candace has supposedly 7 million followers on YouTube. Well aware of that. But the problem is that if the audience of 200,000 live is legitimate, why would Hassan be able to dominate and take over the chat like that? That was at least the argument. Tristan, do you have any comments on this?
It's a bit strange. Yeah, I think it's funny just commenting on that. The need to say, I don't, just because I played a clip of Hassan and, you know, Hassan says that the sky is blue, and I agree that the sky is blue doesn't mean I endorse everything about Hassan or don't think he's a massive gay F word. But like it's ridiculous that we even have to say that. I feel like your audience is pretty.
Well, we got a lot of people in the chat that don't know that. They think I'm like some leftist or something. It's because I play a clip. It's stupid.
It's the Candace people. You have to say this for the Candace people because they say, "Oh, he played a Hassan clip, so he's a commie."
Right.
He must be a commie. So yeah, but yeah, I think you got a lot of GATE students in your audience. So I think your audience gets it.
The
But
GATE program.
It's likely that some of these channels are botted. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something that I noticed in the last couple of weeks, you and I talked about this when I was in the space briefly with you the other day, is that Milo seems to be involved in the Candace PR campaign to a certain extent. I don't know if she pays him for consultation.
Oh, interesting.
Or if it's just, basic Milo blackmail stuff that he does. But he's been pretty prominent in defending her.
Yeah.
And something that I saw happen earlier this week and as a few days ago, there was this controversy over whether people were receiving emails to call Candace Owens a demon.
Yes, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
It was slightly suspicious. There were a lot of posts that were pretty similar. That seemed like they were
right.
There was an organized mass posting against Candace, and that stuff happens all the time. And but then what was funny is, on the other hand, there was kind of the same thing was happening from Candace's end as well. And there were people posting almost the exact TypeScript defending Candace and calling out the supposed. So you've got bot armies versus bot armies.
Yes.
And I think that is kind of a interesting.
Yeah, and then I saw a lot of people saying that the guy who created the original supposed TPUSA thing said, no, it was fake. I made it with AI, which vindicates, if that's the case, that vindicates all of us who were just simply asking, how do we know that this memo is real? It could be anything. And they did absolutely no investigation and just ran with it. All of that side, all this Candace bot army ran with the TPUSA memo as legitimate, but nobody knew if it was. And so merely asking the question, how do we know this is legitimate, means that you get attacked on Twitter, as I did, with hundreds of Candace bots. And if you argue against Candace, you will experience this. You will get all of these ridiculous, and they have hardly any followers, hardly any posts, but they're there to tell you that you're a retard. Now, this is other critics pointing out Erica is a man, allegedly, according to Candace. They're going with this now that Candace, that Erica was a man. This is a new low. They're actually just evil incarnate, right? I mean, this is so retarded that any of these should have totally discredited Candace. And that's why I can't find anybody willing to debate me on her credibility, because I started following her in this stuff intensely for the last 6 months. I watched when she did her BB expose, which is a pretty good expose. And I thought, okay, maybe I should give Candace a fair hearing. And then it went from there to craziness, right? I came in after the Egyptian planes thing. So I wasn't really paying attention to Egyptian planes. I think that, by the way, is bullshit, but it doesn't prove anything. And then it's every week, it's a new theory. even to the point of going back to the Project Camelot disinformation stuff of the kookiest boomer nonsensical interviews with UFO alien abductees, super soldiers, Pleiadians, all this nonsense that Project Camelot put out, which was her argument and her basis for how Charlie was a time traveler with the CIA using this 2012 Sumerian technology that suddenly quit working. So at that point, I was like, this is obviously just absolute disinformation. And she's either not that intelligent or she's being fed disinfo and she's falling for it. Either way, it doesn't matter because both of those things can easily be true.